as I've promised, here I am with the Demigod Karma build. It is all about absolute brokenness, unfair gameplay, and absolute domination. And when you play Karma with an aggressive laner, you can just walk into the enemy level 1 with your empowered second ability, root them, and get them killed. So, for this specific replay, or game, I took a rune which is very interesting to see, which is called Shield Bash. Every time you shield, you deal bonus damage in the next attack, like on a 7-second cooldown. The issue with this is, in early game, I can't really proc it, and that might have lost us the kill. If I had Scorch, it is very likely that the Lulu died or must have healed earlier, and then we were still in range for an auto attack. Who knows? But still, it scales better than Scorch. But yeah, it does less in the early game. It basically does nothing until I have my shield available. And here I'll just walk forward, making sure to completely deny the enemy any play they're not allowed to play. Going for an auto attack, dealing some good chip damage with all the rune bonus damage. 14 damage, that's like half of Scorch. If you completely disregard resistances. So right now it's not really doing too much, and Scorch would probably just do more, and I'll swap back to Scorch here. But I'll just give you the proper rune layout anyway in the earlier parts of the video. And here our Pantheon just comes by after doing free camps. I tank the tower, so you just can freely dive without dying, and I just back off again because we saw the enemy jungle, or we just to make sure that we don't die. Since we saw them walk towards the Scuttle Crab, we can just know that he'll be there, so our Pantheon even walking there is a major mistake. He should have just pressed the recall button to go to his other side of the map and save some time. Now we have some nice boots, and now we get to absolutely dominate them again. So when you play Karma, that's something you need to understand. Your champion is not only a press your first ability spam button, right? You don't only do this. You have the most reliable setup out of probably every single Enchanter champion, and they can't really do anything about this because all you have to do is literally this. You have your empowered second ability, and you just walk after them. Because they can't really escape. And you would just have to play for space. I'm hitting minions here to just get more XP, to get a level up, to get some healing, give my Draven also a level up if he's in XP range, because I couldn't reach in the meantime. Giving him my buffed abilities, going down. Oh, he lives at my Draven has some little accident. It is unfortunate. We could have probably just pushed the wave, get level 5 for Draven. Let me go back. Was my Draven close enough to hit level 5? No, he wasn't. Okay. But still, now we got a little bit emotional. It's fine. I have to deal with the wave so it doesn't get stuck in front of the tower. Once this is the case, I can recall, and we are enjoying our time with Boots of Mana. Here's something I still don't know for sure if I prefer Boots of Mana over like rushed harmonic or Ludens, but I think for Karma I will just go for Boots of Mana because I have so much damage and I can impact the game so much easier with Boots of Mana, simply because I can run down people with the extra movement speed and my second ability, etc., right? So I don't really believe that I should take something else. But after this, I obviously want to go for, oh my god, Pantheon, brother, oh no. And the madness is unfolding in front of my eyes. Oi, oi, oi. The Pantheon just had a little accident, and the enemy did a whole ass rotation, getting us killed while we just, enjoyed our time. Well, now it's time to go back to my lane, popping the plant just to make sure that I'm safe and nothing can happen to me. And if the Sivir, if there's no ward in the river, I just prepare my second ability, or rather my passive. And if they're close to me, I can just use my second ability again and root them. Like the Lulu here walks up for no reason, I can ult both of them, ult into the Q into the middle, destroy them, and get a free kill for my Draven. And yes, the Lulu has inted here 100%, but this is something you need to always do on your champion, and I'll just walk into this, I'm a little bit dumb, but we will not talk about this. This is really something that many people to this day playing Karma don't do. Your second ability is a reliable kill setup. You can root people and deal so much damage to them because unless they have flash and are far enough from each other, you will always root them. And if you root them, then you can hit your full combo, your ultimate to pull them together, your first ability, which is then empowered again from your ultimate, and completely annihilate them. There's just no reason not to use this combo when it completely removes the entire counterplay of the enemy. And here the Draven actually is part. Oh no, 1 HP, and I walk into the wall, but I don't think it matters. But 1 HP again. And here the Sivir, we know she has spell shield, so I'm not gonna use a spell until she goes, and the entire enemy squadron is coming around the corner. They really had enough. And for me, it's now a very, very sketchy time. The enemy will really try to dive me, and I have to just fight with the wave. Making sure to collect the wave, dealing some extra damage, avoiding the Galio because they really want to kill me. Now I need to be threatening. I just really need to play it very slow, and luckily they're playing it absolutely awful, allowing me to live. I should be dead here every single time. There's no way I should survive this. And now I see my Draven has ultimate. I just need to know if they're recalling, so I walk after him. Draven comes in and we just execute the Sivir because she reacted too late. Probably she was in the shop, but yeah. Now, with the play happening, I stop my reset. I think this is a misplay. I should have not stopped my reset. But here I get some extra gold and XP. And now because I have enough gold for Harmonic, like right now I have enough gold for Harmonic for an item completion, I will go to the Herald with my Harmonic. Because now with this item spike, I can completely change the pace of the game here. Normally I should not have Harmonic, you should have Ludens. But in this instance, it's just the biggest power bar I can have, and I can sustain my teammates. Did you just see the healing? And the Hecarim here gets a little bit of a greeting here. But sadly, if Fizz wasn't paying attention, was busy with the wave, I didn't just see. And we just took away his HP bar, so he can't just do the Herald. But then we see the enemies pathing in the way they do. Like, the way they do, it's very obvious the way they position that they're on Herald right now. The Hecarim used to plant, and there he is, this little sneaky goblin. And it's a little bit of poking time right now. We need to poke, we need to sustain, we pop our second ability to root an enemy, we play maximum range, and we abuse the healing and shielding power. We already got multiple heals off the Harmonic Echo, and we'll get another heal here by shielding our teammates. So much healing coming in, saving our teammates, keeping them healthy, and this little Scuttle Crab is actually denying the direct way to the enemy, giving our teammate even more healing, missing my first ability like an absolute blind gamer I am. And we still run them down. Harmonic Echo is healing so much during this fight. If somebody kept count how many times it healed during this fight, you're more than welcome to comment the actual value here and be like, well, this item is very unfair and you should actually build it more often on multiple champions. And for this champion, you're basically playing like the demigod build. Like you have both Echoes, Luden's Echo and Harmonic Echo. There's just so much healing, so much damage on such low cooldowns while providing you with mana, AP, ability ace. Like, these items have everything you want. And here I'm debating, should I go for, what is it called? The Veil Enchant for the Hecarim all-in, or do I go for Locket to have another source of my Harmonic Echo, so I can, juggle with the Harmonic Echo? The fight is breaking out on top again. We have to get there. I'm in a vital part to my team's survivability and damage. I can single-handedly decide a fight by damage and sustain. And here the enemy is moving together. They allow me to hit them all at the same time. You see, I have an Harmonic Echo, and I put them all to low HP. I mean, I'm ridiculously fat to be fair, but I don't even have a Ludens. And my Draven gets there, gets a free cash-in. The enemy Galio thinks he's safe under the tower, but little does he know that we just walk there. The Darius absolutely smurfs on him by cancelling his ultimate ability, even though the Galio showed good insight or foresight as to what will happen. If he did a little bit earlier, he would have been safe, but it took too long for him to process. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, the enemy jungle, which is like a former pro player, as well as the top laner, which is also a former pro player, random, are absolutely smurfing on my teammates, but it doesn't matter because now they're overextended. They try to turn on us, but they really can't kill us. The Locket comes through. The Lulu is in a bad position. We just ult her back. We just shield again. Have so much sustain. The Draven just cannot die. Gets even more gold right into the pocket. Like you see, every single time my Harmonic Echoes is up, I can just completely sustain us. And this is something that's very cool when it comes to objectives as well. Like, in many instances, you might not be able to do Baron with your team. But with this build, you'll have so much extra sustain, allowing your team to actually do Nashor. Because the damage you take, the collateral damage you take from Baron, is completely mitigated by your Harmonic Echo. And I really hope this item gets more spotlight. Like, I've been using it ever since it got reworked, and it's just so goddamn broken. Like, it's not even funny how dumb this item is. And what I can do with this, like, I'm a mobile turret. I deal so much damage while I'm able to sustain my teammates. Now with the Luden's Echo in my pocket, it gets even more crazy. And after this, I will go for Mandate. Imperial Mandate. It's a very cheap build, like the most expensive item out of this build is Luden's Echo. And this will allow me to spread so much damage through the entirety of the fight. Yes, Karma's AP ratios got buffed. You could argue that Crown is very nice here as well. Rabadon as well. However, I want the highest burst damage possible for me and my team combined. Because I'm more of like a utility, as I said, I like multiple things at the same time. If I had more gold, I would go for Rabadon. But as you see, I'm 3-0-11, so I'm not the highest gold income, and I can't go side lane to just quickly pick up a few waves, because if I do so, I'll get ran down. So I have to basically live on my in-game welfare checks, because if I don't, I risk dying, and if I risk dying, my team is in a very bad spot. And now we see the true value again. The enemy groups up, the Galio lands, we hit him with a good slow, he dashes onto us, we pop our defenses, we take a lot of damage, but we still survive, and now it's about like harmonic time again. Every single time we just keep our space, we get hit by some collateral damage, but harmonic and our shielding keeps us safe, getting hit by a Sivir Q again. But again, harmonic proc after harmonic proc, we keep on going. And this is so powerful, like as you see, like it does so much. I can just sustain us every single time. Every 5 seconds-ish, I just pop another shield, some extra healing. Here I mess it up because, well, I can't even time it properly. And you will always see me keep some distance from my Draven. Because if I'm at a distance where both of us get Hacker feared, it's very scary. I can either be like frontline Gigapoke and bait him into going into me. Oh my god, an absolute mad fight involves. Did you see the damage that just happened? I think we actually need to rewind this. Let's take a good look here. So the Pantheon goes in, gets completely demolished. Now the Draven is taunted, he should die. Look at all the HP bars here. Now we pop the ultimate into the middle of the way, pop our first ability as well, like look at all the numbers, and then the Draven completely demolished. We just blew them up in a flash. And now the Draven is nearly full life again, and we constantly give him movement speed, and now we try the most silly thing ever. We try to chase down a Hackerim, but have you ever tried chasing down a horse? It just doesn't work, but we still try. But we can't. But he loses his wolves. Good enough for me. Definitely worth my flash. Wasn't worth my flash, but you know the idea. So, I always say this. There's like 2 champions in the support role which are beyond broken. It's Pyke and it's Karma. And if you play any other support champion and you want the highest impact in the sense of granting your teammates the highest chances of winning because they have more stats, because more stats make it easier to play, like substantially easier, and healing them for like 150 every 5 seconds is very powerful, Harmonic Echoes is your way to go. This item does everything you want. It provides you with everything. The only thing they could do to make it even more broken is add another 10 ability Ace. But then it would be... I just don't even want to think about this. Here, if we all go down to the Fiora, there's a big problem. They can just go for Nash, so we just have to stand our ground here. The Galio is overextending, gets slowed down, he gets one-tapped. The Draven procced my Mandate on the man, and he just exploded. And here we just locate, why is the Lulu walking up? And the Hackerim barely gets out of range, but still is killed. The Mandate proc and the Draven auto attack takes care of them. The Fiora doesn't cancel her recall, and we just get Baron for free. I think it's a mistake. I think she could have gotten the inhibitor. would have maybe made life a little bit easier. But in the grand scheme of things, she killed 2 people, and we killed the entire team. So is she really to blame? Hell no. And here we just have to fix the side waves. We have to go for another side wave, so it's a slow push into the enemy. And we just have to do this, because nobody else wants to do this. It is sadly the reality of life. We have to fix this, because if we don't, we, number 1, lose 50 billion gold, and number 2, the enemy gets free access to whatever they want to do. Now I'm just building an Oblivion Orb, because I just want some anti-healing, because the enemy team has Fiora and Hackrim. I just want it because it's the quote-unquote biggest spike I can get right now, with the highest impact. Here I'm waiting in Focal War, just in case the Fiora gets too close. But the Fiora sadly has her cheat ability, the Lunge, so she can always escape. The issue right now is we have to deal with a side lane that we cannot win, because Darius will never win into Fiora. And our most fed member is basically forced to babysit here while we deal with the waves and create pressure. But now, here's the secret. A good Baron laner will always AFK in the, what is it called? He will always AFK in the top quadrant, right? He will always sit there. And a bad Baron laner will not do so. So the good thing right now is we know that he's a good player, and with him being a good player, we can punish this, because he will be waiting up there in the brush, because he wants to see if something else is happening on the map. So I place my pink ward here. I know he's here, so I just walk close to the brush. You see the difference. My second ability now lights up, so I know he's here. So I press the ability. I know he'll stun me. The Darius just walks in and tanks it. But we just walk after him and see what we can do. The Pantheon comes in, the Galio ults even. We get a flash, the Galio ults, and we use our lock at every shielding possible. Our Pantheon still got nearly tapped. And Dragon is spawning in, like, it takes ages for it to spawn. And now we get the Sivir. The Sivir is getting rooted. It's so much damage. And I have purely utility items. I don't have pure damage items. And here they can't really play. We can just get this for free. I can sustain them. The Hecarim sees his opportunity to go in onto the Draven, gets baited. We just sustain the people. He dies, which means we get the Dragon for free now. And we can rotate to mid to get even more there. Well, like when you see Karma, please play this build. And we got Dragon Soul. Now we can win, right? The Dragon Soul will surely impact how the game is being played. AKA, if they don't one-tap the Draven, they lose. Here I tank the tower, because we have 1 minion and I want the tower to have the lower resistances. And the Galio just never learned from just not walking into him. Should just never do this. Sivir gets chomped by the lovely shark. And we just stand guard here. Constantly using my abilities to sustain us, to get my mantra back. Chaining them up together. Now if the people would... Nah, there's no way we can dive, I think. But still, look at the damage. There's so much. Like, Mandate Draven is so much burst. And here the enemy instantly collapses on a Draven, fears me away so I can't shield him. He kites to the left, tries to make as much space as possible. My spells aren't reaching him and the Fiora finally kills him. Like, this is the only way they could have won. They get me into a way where I'm feared away from the Draven. I can't protect him with any shield, any follow-up, because I tried to ult behind the enemy lines to force them away, just dealing damage to them, and then just end the game with no interaction. And then the enemy just lost. They had no chance anymore. It was simply too much damage and sustain. And now let's take a look at the stats, okay? Like, we have 840 healing per minute, 43 shielding per minute, and what's the damage? That's my fortitude marks, as per usual too. Hopium, playing Phil only. Here we have 32,677 damage, which is more than my entire team, well, close to more than my entire other 3 players combined, while shielding my team for these absurd numbers. So if you don't believe that Karma is broken, let me tell you, she is broken. And it's all about the items and different things you do and how you sequence your abilities to make this champion beyond borderline broken. So let me tell you this, I'm a resident Karma abuser. I love this champion. I love to abuse this champion when it was beyond broken on release. I really love this champion. And if you want elo, this champion is your pick. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me your thoughts about Harmonic Echo and the double Echo build. And as per usual, comment for the algorithm, leave a like, subscribe, and see you soon for more RiftGuides content.